I don't think AI art is particularly bad in the sense of I do think it does have a space in the art community. Hello. I know I said in the last video, and probably the video before that, that my next video was finally going to be about how the market went and how I got scammed and stuff. But I really want to cover this whole AI stuff. I know, not another one. But a lot. In the last sort of couple of weeks. Quick editor note here. It's been just under a couple of weeks since I originally recorded this video. So some of the stuff that I talk about might have been updated since, but the overall message about where I go into transparency and the ethicality of like how AI should be used remains the same. Okay. Enjoy the video. There's just been a rise of companies using AI art, and I have some opinions on it that I really just need to get off my chest. Like, I was laying in bed last night just thinking about it, and I'm just like, I need to get this out there, because otherwise I'm just going to be having that, in the shower argument with yourself and talking about your case. So I'm going to be working as well whilst I'm doing this. I can't show you because of NDA stuff, but know that I am just sketching some character stuff whilst just getting my thoughts out. So this is going to be a very basic and probably short video, because I said I just need to get this out there because it's just driving me freaking crazy. So yeah, the thing that triggered all this was the Wacom stuff. Wacom? I call them Wacom, so we're gonna go with that. But I will get to them a bit later on in the video, because I'm gonna just cover some other stuff that's happened. So I'll cover a quote-unquote minor one. Minor in the sense of you only know really if you're in the community. So as some of you know, I am part of the Lolita fashion community, which is a Japanese street fashion. I'll probably show some pictures here of even myself. No, definitely myself. But once you see it, you know what I mean. So a brand, an indie brand, as far as I'm aware, I would class them as an indie brand, recently made it's a shame because it's a really cute dress. I mean, I'm kind of biased to say that because I love cats. Surprise to no one. Oh my god, I even got a cat top on. And they released this dress, and at first most of us were like, oh my gosh, speaking of cat, kitty cat, what's going on? So my cat Kitty is very excited apparently right now. But yeah, this dress came out, and everyone, as far as I'm aware, was super excited by it because it was really cute. It was like these cats in a like Rococo sort of look thing, and it looked really cute. And people I know have pre-ordered it and stuff out of the time, because who doesn't love cats, especially when it's this more classical Lolita look that has those like cat sweet elements. It's kind of hard to get those things in the fashion. So people rightfully pre-ordered it. I know I would have pre-ordered it if I had the money. I'll tell you that much. But then it came out about, I'd say maybe about a week later, that the whole art was AI, and that got spotted by the usual thing of people using their eyes properly, unlike someone in here that we know. Being like, hey, that cat kind of has 5 legs. And just other little AI details that, well, details quote unquote, that just gave it away. And so it wasn't until people pointed this out that then the brand came forward a little while after and was like, yeah, we used AI, sorry about that, and they want to do better, which is good and is a good thing to hear and to owning up. But, and this is going to be one of the recurring themes in this, the big problem of it all is transparency. So one of the people I know who pre-ordered it were like, if they were just honest and was like, hey, this was made with AI generated art, it wouldn't be as much of a kick for teeth than it ended up being. which is so true. And the other thing with it is just the lack of, I said AI details because it's the thing that makes it very obviously AI. The AI details of like, how did they not notice that the cat had 5 legs? Like, and I know this is why I said like I didn't even notice it to begin with, but once you spot it and you spot those little AI things, you can't unsee them. And especially when it comes to products, it does have that whole, where's the quality check? Where is the art department looking at this stuff? And this is something that goes on with all of the companies that I'm talking about today, and just with AI art in general. Just that whole quality check thing. And as I said, like transparency, like don't hide behind that you've used AI, because yeah, that'll turn people off. But I tell you what'll turn people off even more is just not being truthful about it and not saying, hey, we've used Midjourney or whatever to create this thing. What do you think? It's just, yeah, stuff like that is really poopy, we'll say. So there's that. The next thing I want to talk about is the Wizard of the Coast AI art thing with the art book. So I did a bit of research this morning because I heard about it yesterday, which is why my brain last night was like, wow, all these AI stuff going on. What I discovered was basically an artist that they've been using for a long time now. So they've been producing artwork for Wizard since 2014. So yeah, 10 years. That's a long time. And basically in this latest book, which is like about like something giants, they used AI to enhance their work. So it wasn't so, well, from what I understand, so they had sketches and then they used AI to basically like finish it off. Like, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, that's what happened. So apparently this artwork got handed in about 18 months ago, which obviously is a little bit before all this AI stuff started kicking off. I'm trying to think, 18 months ago, it's probably when I first heard of Midjourney. I remember, because this is before I moved to the US, I remember being in my flat in York and coming across this video about Midjourney and what it does, and I remember thinking, that's amazing, but also really scary. And this was also before the whole using people's artwork before getting their permission thing came out, so it was scary. But at the time I was like, wow, that's like really amazing. But obviously when the artist thing all came out, I was like, that's scarier than I thought, and also again kind of so yeah, the artwork for the giant book got produced then. So there's this argument of, oh, it was produced 18 months ago, so the whole AI conversation wasn't really happening, which is why, you know, the artist used it. And from what I'm gathering or assuming, that the artist probably wouldn't use AI now, in at least for their work for Wizards of the Coast, because Wizards of the Coast have now updated their artists like agreement and stuff for Dungeons and Dragons to not use AI. So apparently they already had that in place for Magic the Gathering, but not for D&D, which is a bit weird, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, even though Wizard of the Coast they've had a little bit of a rocky time. I'm sure we can all agree. Basically, they're lucky that Baldur's Gate 3 happened. Who said that? But yeah, so they've now updated their Dungeons and Dragons agreement that artists can't use AI at all, even in enhancements things. So yeah, that's what's happened. But the argument there is also, again, the quality check of, especially as someone with Wizard of the Coast, I could understand the Lolita brand a bit more, because usually, especially with the indie brands, one of the owners is the designer, you know, so that's why there is a little bit of you know what I mean. Whereas with Wizard of the Coast, you know, they have an extensive art team, at least I'm going to assume they do. If they don't, wow. But yeah, how that then got by in the last 18 months, because I said, yeah, the conversation of AI art and the ethical nature of it has definitely been going on for the last 12 months. So I can, again, only give the benefit of the doubt of maybe the reason it got missed out is because unless you know what you're looking for when it comes to AI art, other than like five-legged cats, someone probably should have noticed, but also they just didn't know what to look for, you know. And with a trusted artist as well, they've been working with for 10 years, they probably did just have a quick glance at it, and it's like, yeah, that looks like his stuff, looks good, plonk it in. And that was probably that. So that's what I think potentially happened there. Obviously, don't quote me on that. I'm just speaking from my experience in the industry as to potentially why it might have gone amiss. So yeah, the conversation there is, at least with the Wizards of the Coast has now updated their terms and agreements that when they hire artists, they can't use AI and stuff, whether that's for enhancement or just producing work. And that's great. And hopefully that will cover advertising as well, which goes into the Wacom thing. Gosh, like that is the biggest kick in the teeth, but we'll get there. The other company I want to talk about is Apex Legends. So I watched a video on that this morning as well. Again, it was another thing I heard over on the grapevine for a day or so. And I watched a trailer, so it's a Final Fantasy collab. Of what I saw, it seemed to be Final Fantasy 7. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm a little bit out of touch with Final Fantasy, but I know my FF7 characters, and that seemed to be what I was seeing. Kitty cat! Hi, baby. Do you want to come say hello? You want to say hello, everyone, to Kitty? Come here. No. You don't want to be picked up. So I watched a trailer for it, which this happened. And again, I also watched a video. This one was actually done by an AI artist themselves. You can think of them what they want, but, you know, they're very honest, and they, from what I gathered from them, also agree that, you know, AI art isn't their art. It's just, it's, yeah. So at least they admit that, which I respect. My gosh, my cats are literally going crazy. So he was able to point out all of, like, the AI details again in this video, like the hands are a classic. The one that got me the most was like this buckle, a certain, I think it was a character based on Yuffie, I can't remember her name. She says claiming to know Final Fantasy 7. Basically the buckle, it had like the silver bits going on, but then actually no hole for like the buckle thing to go in, and no connection. It was basically just AI detail blur. Which obviously when you look closer, it's like, hey, her clothes actually don't attach in any way possible. Again, that goes into the transparency thing of, like, they just didn't say anything. And, you know, I don't know if they have said anything since. If they haven't, I want to jump on that. Because, again, and the thing with video games in particular that, like, this is probably the biggest thing of why I decided to do this video, was with video games, at least to me, the thing that keeps a video game relevant is streamers, the modding community, and the art community. And obviously they all fall under, like, fandom and the whole community of the game in general, but I'd say those three things are the main pillars that keeps your game relevant. So for them to, like, Apex Legends is so big as well. Like, I don't play it. It's not my thing. But I know it is huge and has been huge for a long time. So to do this to their art community is just, it's just really awful, isn't it? Like, as I said, like, the art community is such a big part of keeping a game relevant, that keeps fans digesting new content, because sometimes there's not much to add to it anymore, or, you know, any updates that need to happen takes a bit of time, whereas the art community out of all of them, except for streamers maybe, because they can just like play the game and upload and all that stuff, but out of all of them can like punch out new things very quickly that keeps your game in the public conscious. So to do that to their fan community, I just think, yeah, I feel bad for them, and there was no reason why then they could not hire. I'm willing to bet that Apex Legends probably has a very talented art community, pretty much like any fandom, to be honest. Like, it doesn't really matter what you're into. There's always going to be a bunch of artists in that community that are super, super talented and know what they're doing and just create content that just makes you go, oh my gosh, I love this. I love being part of this franchise. I love connecting with fans for it. So yeah, I feel really bad for the community, and that must just really, really suck for them. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover there, and I just don't see the point of it either.
Hello, I like money.
And the transparency thing of like, just, yeah, I just don't. They're doing that thing that is, they're making the whole fear that people had of AI art come true. Of they just thought they could get away with using AI art in this trailer, and you know the argument is they have gotten away with it because people are still gonna buy this DLC. They just are. Like, whether or not it'll be the numbers that it could have potentially been before they did this, I don't know. But it's doing that thing where it's making artists lose jobs, and again, artists that care about your franchise, you know, they want people to be part of your community and fandom, and you do them dirty that way. It's just, yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, my cats. I don't know if you can hear them running up and down the hall, but they got big zoomies right now. Right. And then moving on from that, because that's basically like my piece there. That's the thing I just really get out. Like, gaming franchise especially. Please respect your art community. Come on, there's so many of us that would love to do work for you. Oh, yeah. This is why I'm saying this is like a kind of quick, semi-unedited video. Because it's just... So yeah, moving on to the next one, the biggie, and you know, the gaming one makes me go anyway, but this one, I could not believe my eyes. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen now, especially in the art community, that Wacom, yes, the Wacom, you know, the one that for a lot of us got us into digital art, they used AI generated art to push their tablet. What the, like, out of everyone, that is just, that's just the most, as I said, just the biggest kick in the teeth. And I got so many things to say about it. So you know, it's a big kick in the teeth for everyone in the art community, that's for sure, no matter like what you specialize in, what your age is and all that stuff. But I feel like, for me personally, someone who's nearly 33 years old, Wacom, before iPads like I use here, like, and honestly, nowadays digital art is so much more accessible than what it used to be. But, you know, I got my first tablet to do digital art in, I want to say 2007? Yeah, that feels right, 2007. And Wacom back then was like the golden child, basically. They were so expensive, but they were like the top of the top. Like, if I really wanted one, and I didn't get a Wacom for a long time. I never got one with the screens. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. I never got one of those because they were always just freaking crazy money. Like, at least in pounds, I remember them costing something along the lines of like 3k, and that was like never gonna happen. And it wouldn't happen now either, which is why I still don't have one. But the iPad is, I love you, baby, you've changed my life. But yeah, they were like the golden child of digital art. Everyone wanted a Wacom, and if you didn't have one, you had to get like Wacom clones, basically, that were nowhere near as good, but you know, they got the job done. Especially for little poor folks like me back in the day who could only get like £30 tablets that for no reason be like, I don't connect anymore, oh, I don't work, and like the cables would like just like one day just be like, and I break down, and it was so devastated. So yeah, my point being, to do that to people who are now, you know, digital artists because of people like Wacom is so heartbreaking. You know, like, I felt Wacom aren't what they used to be for a long time anyway. I say that mainly as a, you know, because of the rise of stuff like iPads and all that, and Procreate and all that. It leaves things like Wacom's a little bit like, you don't need them anymore. Whereas before, there, at least for me, there was always this feeling of like, if you didn't have a Wacom, you weren't doing digital art correctly. Or, you know, you felt like you was missing out. Whereas now, it doesn't feel that way at all. There's so many viable ways to make digital art now, and I love it, and I'm really happy for everyone in the art community to have that. So yeah, just for them to do that is just really heartbreaking, and I don't like it, and I think it might be what breaks the camel's back for Wacom. I think they're gonna have a very hard time fixing this one, because the other thing as well that gets me, so they were using, it's for like a the lunar moon / New Year celebration, so like Year of the Dragon and stuff. The other thing that gets me is using AI art to do all this dragon art and stuff, and to celebrate the Year of the Dragon. But also, you really couldn't use like commission or maybe a bunch of digital artists who do celebrate the new year to produce that artwork for you. That's just, it's so icky and just it makes me so angry. Yeah, as I said, I think they're gonna have a really, really tough time getting themselves out of this one, and because again, the transparency thing, they didn't say anything, they thought they could get away with it, and you know, once something's on the internet, if you've done something, people will find it. And so I don't know how they thought they were going to get away with it, considering like some of the mistakes, again, once you see them, it's just like one of them with the dragon is the tail literally doesn't connect to anything. It's awful. It's really awful. So yeah, the best of luck to them, because they're gonna like freaking need it, because the art community, I tell you what, is not very forgiving on stuff like that, especially from someone like Wacom. That is, they should be, out of everyone, they should be on our side, because like this is really obvious now that I'm saying it, but because like without us there is no Wacom. Like, we are your target audience. What the fudge? Like, I feel really stupid for not clicking that immediately. But it's like, if people stop using digital artists in particular to make their artwork and went straight to just using AI digital art, congratulations, Wacom. You officially have no customers, because we'll have no use for your artwork because people don't want us anymore. So, again, good luck to you. Oh. So that's pretty much that in terms of companies and brands and stuff that have used AI art in under a month. This is a great start to 2024. Like, we should be used to this by now. The other thing I want to cover, so this is the thing that might be a tiny bit controversial. Wow, I couldn't say that word for some reason. I don't think AI art is particularly bad in the sense of, I do think it does have a space in the art community. And like, hear me out here. Right, sorry about that. My battery died. It just plucked up like, battery exhausted. And I was like, same babe, same. Honestly. And it's a little typical because like I was getting into like the kind of nitty-gritty bit, and obviously the bit that I said like could be seen as like a little bit controversial. Am I saying? I'm really struggling with that word, controversial. I feel like I got a bit of a lisp. Did I have a lisp this whole time? Anyway, I think AI art, not even AI art, just AI technology does have a place does have a place in the art world. And when I say that, I mean it as a tool. But before we even get to discussing it of how great and exciting it is as a tool, we do obviously need to talk about the ethical part of it, which is such a big deal and is, in my opinion, the biggest issue is obviously the whole, and I think it's just the biggest issue in general, from what I gathered, is just that whole taking artwork without asking permission from artists that are then used to train these to train the AI, which isn't cool because that means people are creating. It means every little bit of AI art that you see has aspects of it from an artist who did not give their consent. So whether that's their brush style, maybe with this dragon thing, like how they draw dragons, it's not on. And that's the biggest issue. If we could fix, the dream would be / hope, and I really do hope this is what's happening. It seems to kind of be, but we'll see. At least what I'm gathering from the EU seems to want to go that direction. Is we basically need to start stuff like Mid-Journey again, but with the permission of artists, because I guarantee you, we're back to transparency. If these companies or whatever who are producing these AI just ask artists, hey, are any of you interested in feeding this machine that will help create AI, like artificial intelligent generated artwork, I think I think artists would want to take part in it, because as I said, it's exciting. And the reason it's exciting is then moves on to, and this way it gets even more complicated, is then making sure people are using it correctly. So producing artwork and then selling it at a convention, for example, and then claiming you're an artist, that is not using AI art correctly. That is just art theft. In my opinion. I said it. If you're doing that, you're an art thief.
Fuck me.
But if artists or anyone basically use AI work to generate ideas, so for example, using it as an extension of, I for one love going to Pinterest and looking for inspiration for artwork, especially if I'm feeling like I have no idea what to do, or I'm struggling. Like, for example, actually I can't talk about it, but this character in particular that I've been struggling with, I went to Pinterest last night and made a board to help me figure out how I can fix this character and draw this character. I think AI could very easily be a very powerful, and it should be a very powerful extension of that to help us get our ideas down on paper quicker. So say you have an idea for a fairy kingdom, and you just need to get some imagery to help you think about, like, okay, maybe there could be mushrooms placed here, or shapes and colors that maybe you never thought about using, because maybe it doesn't naturally occur to you, because that's maybe just not the colors that you're used to. Like, for example, I'm more of a pastel artist that you usually see, but maybe it produced colors I'm like, oh, I would have not thought of using that color that way. I think it can be really great for producing that, because it also will allow you to really narrow down of what exactly you're looking for. Because one of the things doing like the Pinterest method and all that and social media is obviously you got to hunt, and sometimes you don't actually find anything to help you get the inspiration that you're looking for. Like, what you need, but obviously you're just struggling to get that quite down on paper. So I think AI will be a really great tool to help us get like the real nitty gritty of, like, okay, I want to make this thing. I'm thinking about developing a landscape or a character that has this thing going on. Let's generate some artwork with, then again, artwork made by artists who consented to it. And to get that down on a mood board of like, oh, I love that. You know, you can be like, bit of this, bit of that. And then you've got now your own artwork, because that's where it's basically just like the ultimate reference tool. And I really want it to be that. And I really want to use AI that way. But as I said, where it is ethically, it's just, no, it's nasty. It's nasty. And how it's being used is peeing me off. And the art community off. And I just, yeah. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. You know, and I've spoken to like my husband about it. Like, I would love to be able to also, you know, I'd love for one day with Photoshop or Clip Paint Studio and all that to have an AI assistant that you can then turn on, that you then allow to copy your work, if that makes sense. So I would love like a tool to be like, okay, like I'm watching you draw stuff and I've been watching you for a while. I've learned that you draw trees like this. So it was almost like a, you know how we make our own like stamps and digital stamps, for example, like going back to the trees things. I was like, okay, I'm gonna draw a bunch of trees and then make a stamp so I can just go boop, 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 and reuse it. I'm sort of thinking of like a more, I guess, intelligent I don't know how to, like, efficient, I guess, and something that can generate things that also do look a bit different. But I'm imagining almost like, yeah, this stamp like tool that I would just love it to be able to be like, hey, I've learned that you draw trees this way. And let's say you're making a comic book, because I could see something like this being really, really useful for comic creators, and in particular, you know, just time sensitive things. And you want it to create a forest background for you quickly while you focus on maybe another like more detailed section of your comic. And then it could be like, boom, here's a forest made from your art style. And then obviously you can fix it. That'll be the other dream as well, you know, that it won't be able to make weird AI mistakes. But how possible that'd be, I don't know. I literally have no idea. But yeah, when I think about AI that way, I would love that to happen. But because of just how it's being just not, what's the word I'm looking for? Legislated. I can't speak, guys, by the way. Because of legislation and stuff, and just people misusing it, even if it did get to that point, it might just forever leave this really icky taste in a lot of artists who are around now, and not even artists, just people in general's mouths, which is a real shame. But you know, the companies behind these things only really have themselves to blame, in sort of my opinion. But that's that. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm sorry if this was a bit ranty. As I said, I just needed to get this out, because I wasn't ever going to really make a video about it, because I feel like a lot of stuff has been said, but the Wacom stuff that happened in particular is just such a direct attack, that I just had to get it out there. And as I said, in the last like under a month, so yeah, 3 weeks ish, 4 like brands and stuff that I know of have used AI, and it's just like, where have you been this year? So I feel like, yeah, we probably do need to be making our voices louder, actually, of just like, don't do this. Why are you doing this? Like, you want to turn people against you? Like, that's one of the ways to do it. But yeah, I got a bit passionate there, so I wasn't able to get as much sketch done, but I got some faces done that I'm happy with, so I can move on for that. Thanks for listening to my rant, basically. I hope you have a great day and stuff, and see you later. Editor Kirsty here. I just want to put a quick plug in, because I realised I never said it because I got so caught up in the emotions. that please do like and subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me. I can't believe we're on 72 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot. And leave a comment as well. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, whether that's how companies have used AI or what you would like to see from like legislation from seriously can't speak legislation. Here we go. From stuff like that. What would you like to see from it? Or maybe you just want it out of here. It just doesn't belong in the art community or anywhere really. So do put your thoughts down. I really want to hear them. But also I have a brand new plugin as well. I finally have a Ko-fi. So I wasn't going to launch this just yet, but basically a lovely client of mine decided to leave a tip for me. So thank you very much, Kelsey. And all your cat gang. And that sort of triggered me. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll launch it now then, because I wasn't going to. So yeah, if you want to either leave me a tip or support me to help me create this content even more, because as you know, 2023 was really tough for me in the job sector and finding my feet in a brand new country and stuff. So I decided to take things into my own hand and create this channel and get back into illustration and stuff. So any support there would mean a lot. I have 2 tiers. So my first one is Ghostly Sleepers, and with Ghostly Sleepers you get behind the scenes, social media shout outs, and early product access. I'm reading from the screen, can you tell? See, I'm transparent. That's the first tier, and that's $2 a month. And honestly, like if anyone ever subscribes to like that, I think I'll explode. Or for $4 a month we have Phantom Brewers, which has all the same as Ghostly Sleepers, so early product access, social media shout out. So what I mean by that, by the way, is on these videos I will give you a shout out in every one of my videos from now on. Behind the scenes stuff. So what I mean by behind the scenes is seeing what I'm working on outlet, and it'll be posts that I won't be posting on my social media as well. But as well as on top of that, with Phantom Brewers you get exclusive content, so stuff that you'll only see there, as well as exclusive discounts to my store. So for example, when I release a new product, you will be given a discount to get it for cheaper, as well as first tips as well. And what I mean by exclusive content, I'm talking about like gifts basically. So I'd love to get to a point where I could definitely send stuff to you. So I've made it so it does ask for your address, just in case I do get to that point where I can send you goodies as a thank you. But if not, there'll definitely be digital thank yous and stuff where I draw pieces just for you guys. So yeah, as I said, I have a Ko-fi now. Any sort of support there means a lot, but obviously don't feel pressure that you have to. Even just liking, commenting, or subscribing to my channel is so much support, and going to my social medias and checking out my shop and that, it just thank you. I can't do the new one. The new one, you know. But yeah, that's it. This is actually my goodbye now. And yeah, stay tuned for new content basically. Yeah, bye.